Happy Friday, friends. It is a great day. Supposed to be sunny and in the 80s today, but our humidity is still down. It is beautiful out. There's a breeze, and I am happy. I am Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 28 years, and I love what I do. I'm here to help you find the joy of card making and paper crafting, to give you tips and tricks to make that more fun and easier for you, and then to encourage you to send out your beautiful creations to others to spread the joy. It's all about eradicating loneliness, one card at a time. Let me just see that I'm up and running here and make sure I'm in the right place, and I am, and all is good. Excuse me. I do have coffee close. I have a frog in my throat again. Must be allergies with this beautiful weather and the breezes. I woke up with a bit of a headache. So, hi, Shar. I'm glad you are here. Let me see what I want to tell you. Please be sure to say hello in the comments. Let me know that you're on. And if you watch on the replay, let me know that too. I love to hear from you. Leave me as many comments as you like, because as always, all comments left today through midnight tomorrow will be entered for a chance to win the card that we are making today. I can see my bangs are getting long. As I look on here, I can see they're really long. I'm not due for a haircut for a couple weeks, so hopefully I can get by without trimming on myself. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, congratulations to the winner of my last card, Cheryl Jackson. Thank you so much for watching and commenting, and that card is on its way to you. And remember that if you can share my video to a crafty group, a crafty friend, your homepage, wherever you'd like to share me, let me know if you do that, and I will give you a bonus entry toward today's card. I think that's it for that. Let me turn you around. You'll see my beautiful sunshine. Take you down to my table. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. You can find me on YouTube under my name, Maureen Rolfes, and you can shop with me at stampinwithmaureen.stampinup.net, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator currently in Middle Tennessee. There is a rewards program through Stampin' Up! So for every online order you place of at least $20 or more, you are going to automatically receive 10% back in rewards that you can use on a future purchase. Those rewards are good for 1 year before they expire. They will always use the oldest rewards before the newest, and you can accumulate them during that time if you want to save up for something fun. So very cool. No cards to share with you today, so we are going to move right on. Last couple days of August, guys. You have a couple more days to get some of these things. So, last couple days to qualify for a card kit for my free monthly card class. You have till the end of August to place a $50 order to get a 3-card packet. $75 will get you a 3-card packet plus a bonus project. $100 gets you a 3-card packet, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. All smaller orders than that will receive a hand card from me as a thank you, and all orders, no matter how big or small, are entered into my monthly prize drawing. My September class, which is for the kits that are earned in August, should be mailed by September 1st. And that class will be on Monday, September 15th. I wasn't sure of that date, but I double checked, and that is when it will be. So yay, thank you to everyone who has purchased already. Your kits are being made this weekend. So, I think Monday, yeah, that should be right. Yeah, never mind. I'm just babbling now. You also have 2 more days to take advantage of the 2025-2027 in-color products that are 15% off through the end of August. And guys, this isn't just the papers and the ribbons and the gems. This includes some kits. It includes some designer series papers, other things that have those colors included in them. So be sure you check those out before this sale goes away for your 15% off. Hang on a second while I take a sip of my coffee. Oh my gosh. I love coffee. You guys know it. I love coffee. Holy smokes. Okay. Our next event for the Global Inspiration Stamp Team starts on Monday the 1st, and it is going to run Monday the 1st through September 12th. It is the 12 days of holidays. We have 10 presenters who will each have a day that they take and do a holiday card presentation. Also on their day, they're going to do a tip and an engagement post, so I hope you check those out. Those will remain there through those 12 days, so you can go back at any time and catch up on any that you might miss. Then on Saturday, September 6th and Sunday, September 7th, each of us 10 presenters will have an hour time slot where we will share an anything but a card project for the holidays. So it won't be a card, but it could be anything else related to the holidays. So we will have some fun things to show you guys. The holidays that may be featured, excuse me, wow, my throat is like saying, oh, I hate allergies. Might be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's. And I say might or may because we're not forcing people to make sure we cover all of those. We're letting the demonstrators who are participating pick which one of those they want to use, so we could have several Thanksgiving, several Christmas, several Halloween, and no Hanukkah and New Year's, or we could have a couple of each. We just don't know. But we love this group to be fun, not only for you, but for the presenters. So we try not to make the rules too strict. If you would like to join this event, and it is going to be fun, guys, you need to be a part of the Global Inspiration Stamp Team. And for that, you either need to be a customer of mine or part of my team. And if you fall into either of those categories, and I have not already invited you to be part of the group, just let me know and we will make that happen. Sketch challenge. 2 more days, guys. There's some beautiful entries out there. This is a super simple sketch challenge. You only have your base and 4 layers. So go ahead, guys. Take a couple minutes today, tomorrow, or Sunday and make a card. Post it there in the pinned post on the featured section of this page. And then on the 1st, I will draw for a winner for a small prize from all of the entries. I hope you join us, guys. Hang on. Let's see if I have a mint. Maybe I need a mint. I don't know. Today, I am having troubles. Sorry. Hang on. I got a mint. Let's see if that helps. Okay. New mini catalog. This goes live on September 3rd, which is next Wednesday. Not only will this catalog go live, but we're going to have new kits and a bunch of new online exclusives. It looks amazing, guys. There are some fun things, not only in here that I can't show you yet, but that are going to be online. So make sure you mark your calendar for the 3rd to get online and check out all the new stuff. Now, I've had 2 people tell me they didn't receive the catalog that was sent from Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up will not resend those until next week. So if you have not received yours and you ordered from me in the last 6 months and you think you should have, let me know. I will double check and then I will let Stampin' Up know next week and they'll get those catalogs out. Or if for some reason I didn't order you one, either because you hadn't opted in to receive things from me or whatever, then I will go ahead and mail one out to you next week. So let me know if you need a mini catalog. Let me know if you think it should have been sent and it wasn't and you haven't received it. But this is a great little fun catalog. But the catalog, as well as the online exclusives, as well as the new kits, will all be online next Wednesday, so you can check it all out. So today we're going to do a simple fun fold card. I try to do fun folds a lot on Fridays, Fun Fold Friday. I love cute little fun folds, but I am not into the real extreme ones. Once in a while, I'll do a class on upscale fun folds that take longer and are more in-depth. But pretty much, I'm a clean and simple gal. So today's card is super simple, but it gives a wow impact. So We're going to play with it today. We're going to use the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. This originally came out in spring of 24 in the catalog, and now it has moved over to our online exclusives. And some of these plaids in here are beautiful and could be used for the holidays. So let me just show you the different designs in this pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look how great those are. They're not only good for the holidays, they were great for spring with a lot of the little colors with like outdoorsy stuff. They're also great for masculine cards and even some feminine cards. Look at that little pinky kind of plaid there. So these are the 12 designs you get in the pack of Designer Series paper. You get 4 sheets each of those 12 designs. I'm going to turn them over so you can now see the back patterns. So on the backs of these, as usual, they are much more neutral. So they're checks, different kinds of checks, small checks, medium checks, larger checks, just a variety of checks. Some of them are gingham, some of them are a little more plaid-like, but they are all beautiful. And yeah, so if you don't want the front with these plaids, you can always look at the back for these very neutral patterns, and I love that. So we're going to be using a sheet out of here today, and we're going to be using it with the Terrific Toadstools stamp set. Now, you've seen me use this a couple times on different cards. For this card today, I wanted to get something in more neutral colors, more kind of toadstool colors, I guess. So I went through my different patterns here to see what I would like, and I pulled out this one because to me those are mushroom colors. So this is the pattern that we're using on our card today. This Terrific Toadstool set comes with a builder punch, and the punch cuts out the stem, and I think it cuts out this toadstool right here. Unfortunately, I have misplaced my punch. I have no idea where it is, but it's somewhere. But I am going to be using it today without the punch, and it'll be just fine. We're going to do just a tiny bit of fussy cutting, but I'll be able to show you a fun way to make this come together well. So we're going to be using this today. Let me grab my recipe right here and all of my pieces. Now that recipe will come back out later. We will show it to you again, and I will post the recipe and the completed card in the comments of this video sometime today. So if you want to take a screenshot or a picture of it and save it, you are welcome to do that. We have a basic white envelope, a piece of basic gray cardstock. This is a regular A2 base, so it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to be using it horizontally. And I'm going to use my bone folder on here one more time just to make sure that lays down really flat. I've gone both ways on that. We have 2 strips of the Designer Series paper. So that's that pattern I showed you earlier. These are 1 inch by 4 inch, and we're going to be using those. We have 2 pieces of basic beige. This is, each of them are 2 3/4 by 4 inches. 1 for the front, 1 for the inside. We have 2 pieces of very vanilla, 2.5 by 3 3/4 for the front, and then this one is just a scrap where I'm going to stamp and do some fussy cutting. So let me grab a couple things here. Sorry, I think I need another mint. My voice is going, so give me a second. Yeah, allergies here in Tennessee just don't agree with me. That is for sure. Okay, so I have lots of little stamp pads and stamps and stuff to build our card today. But the very first thing we're going to focus on is our fun fold. So, saying that, I am going to grab this base of basic gray. I hope this, yeah, this is basic gray. I'm pretty darn sure it's basic gray. We have several grays, and for some reason, the grays are the hardest for me to remember which is which, for some reason. So we are going to be using our cutter, and I have the cutting blade in here, not the scoring one. The scoring one is light gray. The cutting blade is dark gray. I have a cutter for each, but they both come on one when you purchase them, and then you can just use them interchangeably as you need them. I'm going to take my piece of basic gray and open it up and lay it over here to the 1 1/4 mark on this side, right here. Okay, see if I can get that on right on that line. I want this to be pretty close. Then I'm going to take my cutting blade and I am going to push it down right on that fold. Now the cutting blades do have a little notch that you can try to line up as close as you can. So I'm going to come in there and then just cut down to the bottom. So I now have this flap right here. Now I'm going to move this over and come in from this side to 1 1/4 inches. Again, taking a minute to make sure it's lined up as close as I can to that line. And not bending it like I just did a second ago there. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to try to put that little notch right where my fold is, come down and cut that. And so now we have these 2 flaps and this center flap. Yay. Super, super simple, guys. Really crazy. So really what you're cutting is at 1 1/4 inches and at 4 1/4 inches, you're cutting from the bottom of the front of your card up to that horizontal fold on your card. Really easy. The next thing we're going to do is glue these 2 pieces down, because I want these to be down and then this to be the part of the card that opens up. And to do that, I'm going to use Tombow glue. If I can grab my Tombow glue. Now, Tombow liquid glue does have a wider end if you're doing a larger section where you can get more glue out and spread it around. So that is what the side I'm going to try to use here. And I'm just going to take it out, and I don't need a ton. You never need a ton, so spread it pretty thinly, guys. But this wide tip on the bottom really makes it faster and easier if you're doing a little bit larger of an area. And I'm just going to spread that. So pretty much this whole flap is covered with Tombow. And this is the way your Tombow normally stands up like that. And a lot of people don't even know that there is glue in that bottom thing, that there is. So be aware of that. I am going to now come down with this flap, and I'm going to be sure that I'm laying it right along the edge. It can move a little and have a little wiggle room, so you want it to be right along the edge. And then I'm just going to press it down firmly. We're going to flip this around and do the same thing on this other flap. Like I said, this is a super easy, fun fold. But what it does is it gives your card a little character. And when people get it, they go, oh, look, that's really different. I like that. So if you're into easy fun folds, follow me. That's what I'll be sharing most of the time if I'm going to share a fun fold. I'm all about clean, simple, quick cards. I send out over 600 cards a year. So I really need to keep them pretty easy to do. We're going to put this down again. And I'm going to fold this flap down on this side. Again, making sure it's lined up evenly on the side here, just like that. So now we have our center flap for our card. I'm going to take this Tombow, which I always keep sitting like this so the glue's at the bottom, and put it in my little holder here. And I do have this also adorable Tombow holder I got from my friend Joan. And this is the one that I keep my other one upside down. So I have glue both ways if I need it. Okay, let's take our little strips that we cut out, and we're going to add them to those side flaps that we glued down. For this one, I am going to use the other end of my Tombow and just go around the edges, because this doesn't have to be quite as perfect as the other one. And the one I wanted to be sure was completely glued down. And then we're going to center this on this gray section on the side. Okay, and once you get that on there nice and straight, give it a firm press so that that glue adheres good. Do the same thing with the other one. How are you guys all doing today? How is your weather? I am just so thankful for the cooler weather we had. And it was supposed to get hotter, but now it looks like it's going to stay cool a while. So I hope that is right. How about you? I know some places are really hot out on the West Coast, but Man, we have had a hot, hot summer, and any relief is really welcome. So I'm going to come over here. Now, when I place this one, because you know you can never be 100% exact, I just try to follow the way I did it on this flap so that they're even. So I try to make sure that my bottom section is just about the same as it was on that first flap, and then lay it down. And that way, even if it's not perfectly centered onto your little flap area, visually, it's going to have that continuation of the same line across. So, okay guys, there's the beginning of our card. For the inside, we're going to use one piece of this basic beige. And I'm just going to stamp a couple little things on here. I'm going to stamp, if I can find it. Where is it? Excuse me. Using crumb cake, I am going to stamp these 3 little stems here. And we're just going to add to the inside of our card with crumb cake the stems and then the mushrooms that go on top of it. So I'm kind of doing this down to the bottom and over to the side because this is the piece of the card you're going to write on, and it's not huge, so I don't want to put too much on this center section. And then I'm going to use our gray granite and add the 3 little mushroom tops to this. And they line up pretty easily, guys. Just take a second to get them on there and then stamp them down. And then you have your 3 mushroom tops. So that's just going to pull our outside of our card theme into the inside of this card. I'm going to take some seal. And we're going to add this to that inside section. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to center this side to side on this inside section, but I'm going to bring it down so that my base kind of lines up with those 2 lines on the side. Again, just for that visual accuracy. If you do that, it's just going to carry your eye straight across at about the same level, and that's just what I like to do. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. Now you could put any sentiment in here that you wanted to. We're going to add the popping up to say hi on the outside, but on the inside, if you wanted to add happy birthday or something, you could, or you could just make it a little note card and send it to someone with no other sentiment on the inside, which is what we're going to do for this one. So let me get my gray granite out of the way again for a minute. And now we're going to take this piece of Very Vanilla, and I am going to stamp. Do I have the right color here? Let me see. I do. We're going to use gray granite again, and I'm going to stamp the top of my large toadstool for the front. Okay, so he's going to be in gray granite. I want to make sure he's inked up very well. We're just going to stamp that down onto the Very Vanilla. And there we have our toadstool top. Okay, so for this one, this is the one I'm going to fussy cut in a minute, but I'm going to wait and talk to you a little more about that. So we're going to do some other things. I also want to make the dots pop a little bit on this one, so I'm going to use my light Poppy Parade blend, and I'm just going to color in these circles. And it's very easy to do because even if you go out of the lines a little bit and get it on the gray, it's still going to look fine. So just kind of outline them and go around, color them in. I don't know why toadstools always seem to have some red in them like that. I just think that is so cute. Maybe from watching the Smurfs. I don't know. I used to watch that all the time with my kids. And then we're going to build a little scene on this piece. So I think before we do that, we'll just add our other piece of basic beige. That's going to get centered onto here. Again, this is the same exact size as the inside piece, 2 3/4 by 4 inches. That way you don't get them confused. You can use the same size on both. And once again, centering it on that flap and trying to keep the bottom of it level with the bottoms of these pieces right here. Okay, so there is our center flap of our card. So now to build our scene on here, we're going to take some pieces from this stamp set. So there is this little grassy hill, and we're going to put that at the very bottom of our piece here. And I'm going to ink it up. And then I'm just going to come in here and place this onto my card, trying to get it to the bottom, but not too far off because I want it to cover a decent amount on the card. There we go. Now I'm not all the way down to the bottom. I'm not at all going to worry about that. I also have a little bit of sketchiness down here, and I'm also not going to worry about that. It is just handmade cards and stamping, and that is how it goes. And I think, now I'm going to wait. I'll wait on that part. So let's get this out of the way. The next thing we want to do is build our mushroom scene on here. So I have the larger stem from the larger mushrooms, and I'm going to ink that up in crumb cake. And then we're going to place that here, growing up on this hill, kind of to the side, just like that. And then I have the little mushroom stem, and we're going to put a couple of these on here also. So I'm going to come in here, and we're going to place one here, and then place one kind of going this direction to the side. So crumb cake is a great color for these, I think, and it goes really well with the gray granite to have a contrast in your colors, but yet still very mushroomy. Okay, what do I want to do next? I want to add a little bit of sky color to the background of this. So I'm going to grab my little blender brush and my balmy blue ink, and we are going to ink this up, tap off some of that excess, and then come in here and just add a little bit of blue for the sky. Not a lot, just to give that illusion that there is a sky back there, which there should be, right behind a grassy little hill with mushrooms growing on it. There should be some sky. So again, I'm not making it dark at all. I'm wiping most of it off onto my platform here, just to give me control, and just I can build it up a little at a time along the edges, along the middle, top, and then down here on the side. And I'm not filling it in completely. I just want that feeling of the sky without it being just dark, dark blue. And I hope that makes sense. And then, because now I have some blue here on my glass mat, and I don't want it to get everywhere, I am going to grab my big chamois, because I don't know where my little one is. Oh, I see it. It's just pushed to the side. But the big one works good. I'm going to use my big chamois and just wipe that all off. And now it's clean, and I won't be getting blue ink all over me. Okay, so here is the beginning of our scene. I'm going to take our Poppy Parade ink. And again, like I said, Toadstools need some red on them. So we're going to ink this up, and I'm going to add this little toadstool top right here, and this one right here. I think they're so cute, and they do remind me of the Smurfs. How about you guys? Any other Smurf fans out there? I watched that show constantly with my kids, and I loved it. Okay, let's add our sentiment to this. So we're going to use, once again, our Mossy Meadow and the sentiment that says popping up to say hi. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm actually going to turn this around and do it upside down just so it's a little closer to me. You've seen me do that many times. Come in here and try to get this straight toward the top here. There we go, popping it up to say hi. I love it. So stinking cute. What an adorable card. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, and again, I don't even know if this one punches out with a punch. I wish I could find my punch to tell you. Don't know where it is. But we're going to fussy cut it, because honestly, guys, these are super easy to fussy cut. We're just going to go around the edge, leaving a tiny little border and curving and moving my paper. I hold my scissors pretty firmly, and then I turn my paper, and that seems to be the best for having control, especially around curves like this. And since that's what a mushroom is, a lot of curves, that is what we are doing. I hear a lawnmower out there. I don't think hubby's mowing, so it must be the neighbor, or maybe he is. Maybe he did go outside. He doesn't always inform me of his outside plans, so I don't know. Okay, trash their little mushroom. Now, this we're going to add to here, but I want this stem to have the illusion that it's coming up in the middle of the mushroom. Okay, that's what this little area is. This wouldn't all sit in front of the stem. This would be a cap on the mushroom. So what I'm going to do is take my pencil and I am going to lay this right kind of how I want it to go onto my mushroom. And I'm going to come in here and draw a little pencil line up to that point and then back down, kind of curved. Okay, and we're going to cut that out. Now you don't have to do this. If you pop that on there, no one's going to say, oh, look, that mushroom's wrong. It's sitting on top and not like it's supposed to be. I just don't think people do that. I mean, I'm a stamper and I don't even do that when I get cards, so I don't think they do. So we're just going to cut out, though, that little section in there, kind of like a little loop. I'm going to use my pencil eraser to make sure all the pencil lines got off, but I think I cut around them. Throw away this little section that was cut out. And now we're going to pop this up using some dimensionals. And if you're wondering why I have this little bitty dimensional sheet, it is leftover dimensionals from one of my kits. A lot of times they come this size. Sometimes they come huge. It just depends. They come in a size needed for the kit. So I never waste them. I always use the leftovers, but they're not always the size of our regular dimensional sheets. We're going to take this and pop it up onto there. And I'm going to put it so that my little opening goes right against the sides of the mushroom. And that little peak goes right up into there. So now it looks as if that mushroom is sitting right there on that stem. Or at least I think it looks that way. I think it turned out cute. We're going to add this to the front of our card using some seal. That is my hubby. He is out there mowing the lawn. Look at him go. Wow. Okay, we're going to come in here and place this onto the center of this front panel, just like that. So a little popping up to say hi, and that centerfold pops up, and there's little mushrooms on the inside. And then we need to add some bling. So we do have these basic gray and smoky slate pearls, which I thought would be perfect for this. These are in, I think these are in the current regular catalog, I'm pretty sure. This is the annual 24, so yeah, this is 25. Maybe they're online exclusives now, but they are still available. They are still out there. And I'm going to add 3 of these to my card. And I think I'm going to go with the darker gray. There's a lighter silvery and a deeper gray, because this kind of picks up the deeper grays on the card here. And we're just going to use a few of these to add some gems, per se, to the front of this card in our little triangle. And that is it, guys. That's our card. Now let's add some mushrooms to the front of our envelope also. For that, I'm going to grab my crumb cake one more time. And we're going to add the stem from the large one. I'm going to pull it over a little bit so the whole thing can get on here. Just like that. And then a couple of the little stems again, because those little mushrooms are just too cute not to keep showcasing. Just like that. Get my gray granite. And on here, I'm not going to be able to do the top of the mushroom like that. So it's just going to go, but I'm going to pull it down so that the ink actually goes up to that section. Let me show you what I mean. Up on there. So hopefully that still gives you that illusion. We're going to grab our little bitty poppy mushrooms. These have got to be my favorite, guys, these little bitty ones. They are just so stinking cute. Look at that. And then I want my dots again to have that poppy in them, so I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper, stick it down inside of my envelope because we know our blends bleed through if we don't do that. I'm going to use the little pointed end one more time and just add the dots to this mushroom. Now, if you're using our markers, which are going away, guys, if you haven't heard, all the regular watercolor markers are being discontinued, and I think most of them are still available on the last chance list. But if you are using those, then you don't need the paper in because those don't bleed through and you wouldn't get it on the back. But as a precaution, whenever I use blends on my envelopes, I do put a piece of scrap paper in there. And there it is, our little mushroom scene on our envelope. Our mushroom card right here. Look how cute that is. Great for any occasion. You could add an occasion like happy birthday to the center or leave it as just a hello, I'm here and want to say hi card. Let me bring the recipe back out with that for a minute. If you want to take a screenshot, I will post that later in the comments of this video. Thank you for taking time to be with me today. I hope you liked this card. I thought it was fun. You could do any design with this fun fold. So pull out something you have and make your own beautiful card. But it's such a simple little fold that has a fun little impact to it. You want to be sure these are really glued down well so someone doesn't try to flip them up. They're just going to do that centerpiece. So be aware of that. I hope that you will all consider entering your own card in my sketch challenge. Again, that is pinned in this page to the featured portion, so check it out. That's where you would put your entry there in the comments. And finally, I would love to have your business. If you're looking for Stampin' Up! Products or if you have questions for me, contact me. I'm here to answer your questions. You do not need to order from me. Just let me know and I will be your creative coach. So please reach out to me by email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I will be back next week throughout the week for our 12 days of holidays. So I hope you who are on the Global Inspiration Stamp Team group will check that out. And I will be back here Tuesday with a regular Coffee and a Card live like this one, same time, and I will see you then. Until then, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.